Ladies and ladies, this is the most important Ripple XRP video you can watch right now. Something very hidden has been leaked, and Court Ripple will win. The jokes are no longer funny. This is happening, and everyone in the cryptocurrency world is talking about it. Crypto experts say that XRP will hit $10,000, which sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it? Let's start right away to get everything ready. The case between Ripple and the SEC is almost at a breaking point, and new information suggests that XRP might come out on top stronger than before. Several reliable sources have made guesses about a possible change in the law that would make XRP a commodity instead of an equity, which would put it under the control of the CFTC. The swell may be able to work with a lot less legal scrutiny, which could lead to more institutional acceptance. A tweet from Crypto Briefing says that the CC proposal says XRP could make it easier for states to do financial deals and make government payments and interbank liquidity better. In contrast to its earlier position, which was to actively use Ripple to market XRP as a security that hasn't been filed yet. Steph, a well-known member of the XRP community, pointed out that the SEC's website now shows a request to make XRP a strategic financial asset in the US. This is important because it shows that people are becoming more aware of XRP's part in the global economy. There is also another idea that calls for an SEC deal. Andrew Abacus, a financial expert, wrote that two SEC sources said they thought XRP would get a lot of attention from commodities, which would kill XRP. If Ripple is accepted, XRP would be considered a payment network instead of a security. This would remove legal barriers and make it easier for big banks to use XRP, which would add to the mystery. Abacus's sources say that Ripple's punishment could be much less, which suggests that the government is reconsidering their strict policy. Fred Rispoli, a crypto lawyer, said that he usually doesn't pay attention to bad XRP news from Andrew's sources, but this change in classification would be a big deal for the CC and set a standard for other coins, gives their helpful thoughts. Great thought, it's uncontrolled hope, not hypocrisy, he told me. One more law professional, Bill Morgan, agreed that these events point to a good outcome, even though he warned that the ban on XRP's institutional sales in the U.S., which comes from Judge Annalisa Torres' decision that this injunction does not allow Ripple, remains a major obstacle from selling XRP directly to businesses in the U.S., even though the way it might be classified could help Ripple with some of its legal issues. It is thought that the order is a bigger problem. Yassi Moore, the head of Disk Capital, said that Ripple could pay a $125 million fine, but the injunction would make it impossible for the company to grow internationally. It is taken back. A writer named Eleanor T. Barrett, who follows the world of cryptocurrencies, says that the SEC is moving forward with its plans to settle cases against big companies like Binance, Consensus and Uniswap on Coinbase. This shows a change in the goals of regulators, and Ripple's case could have an effect on future decisions about cryptocurrencies. The new heads of the SEC seem to know how important it is to deal with the ripples are really important. Former SEC Commissioner Paul Atkins recently talked about the problem for the first time, pointing out how important it is, just like Jack the Ripper did. This backs up reports that the case will be settled in a way that will change everything. Rules for managing digital assets. What happens with XRP will depend on two main things: whether it turns into a product, and whether Ripple can. If these things happen when Ripple's advantage, lift the sales ban, there is going to be a big change in the rules for XRP soon. But the big question is, will this cause its price to change? In world finance, XRP could become one of the most strategically important cryptocurrencies. But this is just the start of the story. The newest statements are very different from the old ones, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. Get ready, because what's about to be said could totally change how you think the future of XRP will turn out. For people who have been watching the project, the rumors about XRP's next big price rise are more than just possible legal wins or changes to the law. it's hard to ignore spikes. Ionic just tweeted that the XRP community is electrified, and that the XRP Avengers think they won't be able to afford so many coins that are so cheap once only the real originals knew before the worst fear of missing out started. On the other hand, experts like Eduardo Fanina, CEO of Al Lions, say this is not just a pipe dream. You are right that Versano Gara, the author of Black Swan Capitalists, and the Academy have backed the idea that XRP could hit a skyscraping $10,000. Each coin costs $10,000, and both of them have talked about why this price point is not only fair but also necessary. Bina gives us the best answer. Some people think it's impossible at first. It seems impossible, but once you really understand the technology, which I think you will, the reasoning is based on XRP's technology and the huge potential of the cryptocurrency market, instead of just guesswork. Vera says that the cryptocurrency market is still very new, even though it is worth about 2 trillion or 300 billion, and has a lot of potential for construction that is mostly used to store wealth. Bitcoin is useful in foreign banking, especially for tokenizing assets and making transactions across borders. Asarina says it has services that are necessary for global banking, so XRP is a strength for the future. However, this is mostly based on guesswork. BTC's value rose from $500 to $10,000 over the course of several years. XRP can be used in real life, which could make it more valuable. When comparing Bitcoin and XRP's potential, Virina says that Bitcoin's value rose because of speculation alone, but XRP has the tools to make its value go even higher. The experts at Crypto Geek are sure that XRP will be worth $54 by March 31st. As these statements start to come true, we can only picture the groundbreaking partnerships that XRP Ripple is making are important to remember, even if not many people are talking about them. Trust me, these huge projects could be the key to XRP's next great jump. Once the price starts to go up, people will be afraid of losing out, as the XRP dragon so wisely said. It's a good sign that could change everything about how we think about XRP's future, so don't miss it. So it's clear that the reason XRP's price could go through the roof is its growing acceptance around the world. It's okay to laugh. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, once said that XRP will finally run the world's financial